Well, good morning to everyone. Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. So, in this video, we're also going to cover an update. As you know, I got into a little bit of a back and forth with my fleet manager. I requested a new one. They were supposed to get back to me yesterday and let me know if I could switch fleet managers or not. I'm going to give you an update on that. And also in this video, on a related topic, we're going to talk about office politics and not only how it might have played into this situation, but how it might play into situations that you have with the company that you're currently at when issues arise. So you guys stay with me. Let's get through this, and here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Okay, before we get into it, I want to tell you guys what's coming up on Friday. On Friday's video, I'm going to be doing another request video. One of my viewers, really smart guy, is about to start orientation at DART, and he had some stuff come up, and money's going to be kind of tight when he first started. He was asking me how would I adjust my strategy if that were the case. You guys know I've always recommended going into a lease purchase with as much money as you can. But let's be honest, it's happened to me. It's probably happened to you. Things happen. Sometimes you don't go in the ideal situations. So how would I adjust my strategy if I only had a couple of $100 when I arrived at orientation? I'll tell you in Friday's video. While we're on that subject, if you guys have any topics you would like me to discuss, shoot me an email. Tell me what you'd like to hear me talk about. Maybe it's something I've already covered that you'd like me to clarify a little more about. And who knows, it might come in a future video pretty soon. Next week, I don't have anything planned yet. I'll just be honest with you. We'll see what happens between now and then. If nothing comes up, if you guys don't have any suggestions, I'll probably go back to talking about companies I've worked at before. Also, you guys have had me take a look at a few companies, and I may talk about those in some upcoming videos. But down in the description below, there's a ton of great information. You guys know, for the most part, I'm pretty happy here at DART, doing really well. My recruiter's information's down there, her phone number, her name. Call her, tell her you've been watching Trucker Todd, give her my driver number, please, please, please. It's number 58180. That helps me out tremendously. Or if you call her, you can tell her you've been watching Trucker Todd, and I'm sure she'll know who it is. Also, my Instagram is down there, my Facebook's down there, my previously mentioned email's there. If you're not comfortable leaving me a comment, join me on those other platforms, and we share some content there that sometimes doesn't make it to YouTube. And so also give me a thumbs up, and that helps this channel a lot too. Alright, we've said enough about those things. Let's jump into this, and then we'll get to the update as well. So, you guys know I've been pretty blunt with y'all. I've got the executives' phone numbers here at DART. I could call them directly every time I had an issue, but I prefer to go through chain of command, and I recommend you do the same thing. Give people that it's their job to take care of these things the opportunity to take care of these things. And so when I had an issue with my fleet manager, I contacted the next guy I knew up the chain, and he was several levels up. And he said, yeah, I'm going to copy in. I emailed him he said, I'm going to copy in her boss and his boss. And, I told you in the previous video that when I talked to him, he seemed really defensive of her, and I don't feel like we had a real productive conversation. I also stated that I didn't feel like my attitude was where it needed to be. I was still pretty upset when I made the phone call. And you guys know I recommend being calm and tactful and presenting your case in a logical and laid out fashion. Know what you want to say, know what happened, and present it in a truthful chronological order to where it's easy to follow along. So I got to thinking about it. After that I spoke to his boss and we had a much better conversation. And I got to thinking about that. Why is that? Now, it could be his boss is just a spectacular person. And I tend to lean towards that because she and I had a very good back and forth conversation. It wasn't adversarial, and I felt like we got a lot accomplished. But I got to thinking about it. The previous company I worked for, they called me into their headquarters, and I got to go around and sit with I spent a day there. I got to go to different departments and sit with them. I actually went into a boardroom and met with their marketing team, spoke with them, met some of the executives. This was at the previous company, not DART, the one I no longer recommend, and I don't even mention their name in these videos. But anyway, when I sat with my fleet manager, who was a great guy at that company, and just watched what he went through, I was like, ooh, I would never want this job. And at one time in my life, I thought, and not that long ago, I thought, at some point I might want to transition into the office, or maybe even a work from home position in recruiting or something like that, if my health got where I couldn't, drive a truck no more. But basically, and I'm sure it's this way at most companies, I know DART has a lot of this same setup. There's little cubicles that these people sit in, and oftentimes their supervisor is in the cubicle right beside them or right across from them. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever worked in an office atmosphere, but you get to know these people. You show up about the same time every day, you leave about the same time, you take breaks together, you bring each other coffee, you might have team building activities together, which got me thinking, when these company offices do team building meetings, why don't they ever include drivers in that? Aren't drivers part of the team? But that's neither here nor there. Back to the subject at hand. My mind runs sometimes. So, in theory, their kids could be on softball teams together. They might even attend the same churches and social activities. So they develop a almost business-related friendship with each other. And I can see that as being difficult to come back and correct somebody when they're wrong. I can see a natural inclination to want to defend that person if a driver who you may or may not know, might have never seen before, calls in and says, John Doe or Sarah Doe or whatever their name is, I'm just making up miscellaneous names here, Jim Smith, whatever, did this, this, and this. I can see an inclination to want to defend them as a supervisor that sits in a cubicle right next to them, because long after this mess is sorted out, you're still going to have the same coffee breaks, you're still going to go to work at the same time, you're still going to leave about the same time. And so here's how it typically works. Typically, your point of contact is lower on the totem pole. And because of that, they've typically not been with the company as long. So they're a little greener, they're afraid to make a mistake, they're trying to move up within the company, and so they don't want to make a lot of decisions or stick their neck out a lot. And then the person right above them is the person I described, that they've kind of got to know this person that they see every day. They've developed a little bit of a rapport and friendship with them, so they're reluctant to correct them or discipline them in any way. Now, You guys know that I come from a car sales background. I've done that a few years. And you guys know that I even managed a car lot a couple times. And one thing I learned when I was taking management training and even sales training is if you've got a problem, you either retrain or replace. And I got to thinking about that. In trucking, if you make a mistake, what's the first thing they do? Retrain. Oh, you got to watch these videos. We're going to put a driver-facing camera. We're going to coach you. But I got to thinking, what do they do when an office person makes a mistake? Are they going to put a desk-facing camera off that person's computer that watches them work, monitors their phone calls, things like that? In the case of my fleet manager that I had the issue with, she was new enough they didn't have phone recording set up, and that's a shame because I believe that audio would have worked to my advantage. Now, some conspiracy theorists would say, oh, well, it's awful convenient they don't have that recording because it puts you in a good light. And I'm like, I'm not going there. I'm not going with any conspiracy theories. It is what it is. As I said, I think this fleet manager's a good person. I just don't think I can work with them anymore. And if the verdict comes back that I have to, then I'm going to contact them as little as possible. And so that's what my take on all of this is. I'd love to know what you guys think, but I wonder if office personnel were subjected to the same thing drivers are, what their reaction would be. You know, if the company came in, and again, we're not talking about Dart necessarily in this. I'm talking about any company. ABC Trucking, XYZ Trucking, whatever. But if a fleet manager, dispatcher, whatever you wanted to call them, had a couple of instances, I wonder if how they'd feel if they said, oh, we're going to put a camera and watch you all day. I guarantee you the office personnel wouldn't stand for it. You guys know when I looked at Snyder recently, I posed that question to them. They said, we'll fire you if we catch you in the terminal without steel-toe boots on. And I said, why? And they said, oh, it's safety. We're real safety-oriented. I said, well, do the office personnel wear safety boots? They're walking through the same terminal. Oh, no, we don't require it for them. Well, that makes absolutely no sense. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that for now. Who knows, there may be another video on this in the future. If you guys email me some comments or questions that provoke me to make another video about this. Now let's talk about what happened with my fleet manager. Tuesday came and went, and the call I was expecting to get did not come. I kind of thought this might be the case because, as I told you, on the 5th of July, a lot of those people were out of the office. I'm hoping to get a call today. If I don't get a call today, then I will call that person tomorrow. She is over a large number of both drivers and office personnel, and so I do realize she gets busy. But if she doesn't contact me by the end of today, then I will contact her Thursday morning, and I'll be able to update you on Friday when we do that viewer video about entering a lease purchase with little or no money. So you guys have a great Wednesday. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.